I think a lot of people will remember Bluether especially, and Razzleberry to some extent. I'm Greg Grell, I'm the live production lead at PBS North.
Hi there, I'm Julie. This is Bluether.
Nobody outside of this television market would have known who Bluether and Razzleberry were. They were specific to our station. The origin was Sesame Street has always had, different costume characters, and a lot of PBS stations decided to create their own costume characters. At one point, WDSE, which was the name of the station at the time, now PBS North, decided to create its own costumes for its Kids Club program. Our Kids Club program basically surrounds all the children's programming on PBS. Parents will send in a few dollars to support the Kids Club program, and then they would get some perks. And one of them was we would invite them into the studio to be on the air during our membership drives, and either Bluether or Razzleberry would be there as well. So they became, fairly well known with our Kids Club members.
We have Tatum and Wesley, and they are members of our Kids Club, and we are all here to talk to you about supporting children's programming on PBS 8. What do you like to watch on Channel 8?
I like to watch Teletubbies.
Teletubbies. What about you, Wes?
Puzzle Place.
Puzzle Place. Two great programs.
A lot of kids especially love Bluether, and Razzleberry came a little later. It was in the probably mid-90s when we created Bluether here at PBS North, and Razzleberry was a short time later, maybe a year later or so. The idea was, hey, we need to create a character, and at the time a fellow named Mark Montour Larson, who was our director and graphics guy here back in the 90s, he actually sketched out Bluether on a piece of paper. Then we needed to find somebody to sew Bluether. Diane Podgornick actually sewed the outfits for the mascots. She basically sewed the outer part of the costume, the blue part, the red parts. The actual internal parts were a combination of foam and some chicken wire basically to hold the shape. And then the costume, this part was kind of formed over that. And Razzleberry is a different construction. It's this yarn that's hooked through kind of a mesh. I'm not sure if Mark designed this one or somebody else did. We actually had a gathering where we just had like a party and we did this, and the body especially was huge. It would have taken one person a long, long time to do it. So we just had a bunch of people doing this hooking. It's all individual pieces of yarn that have to be hooked through this little mesh. And it was a really warm costume because of that. It was a little bit heavier because it had so much yarn on it. Okay. And so yeah, both of these costumes, if you wore them for a long time, because this one was full of foam, they would get a little warm.
Gentle.
Some of our employees, depending on who was available, we had a lot of interns over the years wear these costumes, and they would usually be UMD students. But also we would sometimes have younger kids wear the costumes, or we also would work with some of the local drama playhouse or places like that might have some younger actors that just wanted to have some fun.
Each member of the PBS 8 Kids Club will receive one of 4 different Arthur storybooks.
We created a kids club. They got a few perks, like on your birthday, you would get a card in the mail, just, wishing you happy birthday with one of the characters' pictures on it.
And a special on-air greeting.
You would get your name announced on television a couple times a day.
And we've got some happy birthdays to say too. A big happy birthday to Jennifer Fleming in Gordon, to Grace Birdseye in Duluth, to Thomas Hill in Hibbing.
Happy birthday to so-and-so and so-and-so in your hometown or wherever you were from.
To Morgan Long, who's celebrating his birthday in Duluth, and to Carter Larson in Duluth. Happy birthday to Lena Hauta in Cook, and to Paul Kraus in Duluth.
And then we'd have that annual Kids Club Circus, which all of our Kids Club members would be invited to.
I know we're going to see Wes and Tatum at the Kids Club Circus. We hope we see you there.
Hundreds and hundreds of kids and their parents would show up. And we would have it at a local school. And it was kind of like a big carnival. And then there was also a kids parade at the end where we would parade the characters through like the auditorium or the gymnasium of the school. And we also had photo area where kids could get their pictures taken with Bluether or Razzleberry. And sometimes we would rent some of the other PBS costumes as well. Bluether and Razzleberry never speak. They didn't have voices, so you never heard them either in a live situation or on the air. They were just there to smile and wave.
Hi to Maggie, way out in Fort Francis, Ontario.
They always are smiling. So. They are just there for their image, but they would hug kids, or if kids came up would hug them. You'd often see a kid run up and grab onto Bluether or Razzleberry. At some point they decided to create a third character. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they just thought we needed to update or do something different. So Cosmo was kind of more of a science fiction character. He had 3 eyes. He had like a satellite dish on his head. After he was created, we never really, so to speak, screen tested these characters to see how kids would like them, but Cosmos was not popular with kids. He lasted long enough to have some postcards made. So we do have some of those. I don't know what actually happened to Cosmos, but I just know that it disappeared. I have never seen any remnants of it, at least nowhere in the building. Whether it exists somewhere else, I suppose that's possible. I haven't seen it for 20 years or however long it's been. So.
Isn't it nice to know that children can watch their friends here on PBS 8?
They were just locally created characters, kind of out of necessity almost, that just kind of showed that, you know, kids like characters, and it doesn't matter if they're not from a big national program. And so they were used for at least a good 10 years.
Why did you guys end up kind of retiring them?
I'm not really 100% sure why that was. I think they just kind of ran their course, and we started doing different things during the Kids Club. We don't do the live Kids Club breaks anymore, so we didn't have a need for characters. Also, I think now when we do events, we tend to rent the costumes, the professionally made costumes from PBS. When Arthur was popular, we had Arthur a lot. So we've often had Clifford the Big Red Dog. There's other characters. Pretty much all the Kids Club shows that have main characters, they'll make a costume or costumes that stations can rent for events.
On their birthday, they'll get a birthday postcard and a special on-air greeting.
We still do the Kids Club birthday thing on TV.
And in Virginia to Thomas Larson and to Kayla Stein in Duluth. And of course, we're saying hello to all of the kids who are watching right now.
But now we have more of an animated thing that we've just created with the advancing in technology. We could do more, you know, graphically. And these guys, they served their purpose. Time has moved on past something like this.
A lot of fun. Again, hope we see you there.
I definitely think people will remember them. Probably a few generations.
Who are you going to say hi to, Wes?
Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. And Tatum?
And say hi to Papa.
Hi to Papa. And of course, we're saying hi to all of the kids who are out there watching right now.
This, I'm sure, was a well-loved period. I know it was for us. I mean, it was kind of a golden age, you know, for the Kids Club. And also, I think a lot of young adults now will probably remember watching them.